Though the final chapter of the TDX event may not have ended like we hoped it would, this event still has given us a metric ton of new lore and story details. It confirms theories that I've had for a long time, while simultaneously building up the next big bad of the Calamity. Put simply, the Age of the Awakened may be over, but a new threat is emerging. A dark goddess of vengeance is coming to TDX, and we may not be able to stop her alone. What do I mean by all this? Well, be sure to like and subscribe real quick, and allow me to tell you. So, picking up in Chapter 3, we're now in the middle of a city. The city is likely one that we can see from the lobby, given the orange fog, but I digress. The GDA has to destroy this monolith which appears to be holding open a portal to the Awakened's domain, allowing them to pour into Earth. None of the dialogue is particularly interesting, and Nightmare Mode has no narrator at all. However, there is one very big detail that can be found on the dreadnoughts, as well as on the side of the map. It's a big flag containing a black demon angel with red eyes, wings, halo, and horns. She stands looming over a heretic, with the awakened symbol on the bottom. There is also text reading Dea Vindice, which is Latin. Translating, it says, Goddess of Vengeance. It is my theory that this is Dr. Mallory, or Redacted. There is plenty of evidence to support this. Besides the fact that both the angel in the picture and Mallory are all black creatures with long hair and red eyes, we often see Dr. Mallory depicted with the Vile Seraphs, as well as depicted as angry and vengeful, both at the GDA and Dr. Xenon, for the roles that they played in her apparent death and transformation into a Calamity creature. But why does she have more things on her, like angel wings, and why is she in the banner? Well, I believe it is to show us that she has ranked up in the Calamity faction, following the death of the Scout, as the Wretched put it. Despite the Calamity being a bunch of demons, we can see that they are very religious and devoted to said religion. This leads us into Chapter 4, where we get an incredible amount of lore revealed to us. Starting in normal mode, we learn from the Advisor, more or less, that everything has gone south. Our forward operating base in Chapter 1 has been overtaken while we were out stopping the Engineer. Even though he is gone, his creations have made it to us. An interesting thing to note is that the Engineer managed to reprogram the normal Predators to work for him and not Xenon. He also managed to fix up the Apex Predator. That's more or less all we can get from normal mode. Nightmare though, it's a different story. From Nightmare, the first thing that we learn is that the GDA were involved in Dr. Xenon going into Hell and getting the Calamity Crystals. This is something that happened probably first in the timeline. The GDA asked Xenon to go into Hell and get the Calamity Crystals. She used them to create both the power cores for her Eradicators, as well as the weapons for the Golden Towers. We have even more confirmation that the Golden Towers run on this Hell energy, because the corrupted Golden Juggernaut's armor and lights and crystals turn from red to purple under the Awakened's control. This also gives us reason as to why the Calamity is invading our world. Technically, Xenon and the GDA encroached on their lands without their permission. Given that the Awakened and the Calamity as a whole seem to be very religious once again, it was probably seen as very blasphemous. So they engaged in this little crusade to wipe out the people of Earth. This is supported by the Wretched's next line of dialogue, saying that we are only fighting to control the resources of Hell, which is true. We're fighting to keep a hold onto the power of our Golden Towers, powerful weapons that literally run on the energy of their dimension. Xenon's robots all run off this energy too, and we're even taking the Relic Tower. To the Calamity, they are the ones fighting for freedom, not us. So they fight us, and we win, and the day is saved, even though millions of people are probably dead and Dr. Xenon is nowhere to be found. Yay, woohoo, yeah, the day is saved, yeah. It's a little anticlimactic, but whatever, who cares? I'm not gonna go on that rant again. So this does lend itself a few questions. What the heck is the Void's role in all this? And where the heck is Dr. Xenon? Well, I'll try to answer those for now. First up, I think it's very interesting how the Awakened share the same color palette, corruption abilities, and design motifs as the Void. Like I said last time, I don't think that this is just a coincidence, especially considering how the TB enemies return in Chapter 2 Wendigos appear in Chapter 3 and 4, and the monoliths in Chapter 3 has patterns that strongly resemble the crystals on the Void's chest. I think that the Void is a very important figure for the Awakened, even if they don't say his name, but I don't think he is part of the Calamity subfaction anymore. So, going back to a previous livestream John has done, he stated that the Void is some sort of elder god. He is someone beyond the scope of everything else. Secondly, we know that Dr. Xenon made a deal with the Void. If the Void was part of the Calamity, she wouldn't have made a deal with him at all, seeing that Xenon hates the Calamity. So, it is my theory that the Void was someone or something outside the scope of this human versus demon conflict, who interfered when Xenon and the GDA opened their first portal to Hell. The Void didn't like that for whatever reason, and in order to punish the GDA, he started a zombie apocalypse. Since Xenon didn't like the GDA for being a regime that seems to control everything, we can see this in the propaganda, for example, she made a deal with the Void to betray us at a later date. Going back to the Awakened, they probably also worship the Void, but in a different way than they do the Calamity and Redacted, probably because the Void is, well, dead. So instead of worshiping him by name, they pay respects to him in design, color, and learning to use his corruptive abilities. Now, where the heck is Dr. Xenon? Well, I think that'll probably be answered in the Christmas event. I honestly don't know where she could be, and I don't know why she doesn't show up, considering that, once again, like I said in the last video, I feel like Xenon would really want to get revenge on the things that have stolen her creations, especially since she also hates the Calamity. The most recent picture we have of Dr. Xenon is her having a mental breakdown after seeing the Scout Calamity appear, but now that he's gone, we just don't really know what Xenon's up to, but once again, we'll probably find out in the Christmas event. I just hope that the answer that we get is satisfying and doesn't break anything in the lore, but I have hope for the TDX developers. Yeah, that's really all I got for this video. I really hope you enjoyed my analysis of the lore. I really had fun analyzing the lore of this event. I think that this event was amazing when it comes to the lore, and yeah, if you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe. I've got more lore videos coming soon, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.